Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and recently we did a video where I talked about the top 10 classic Doctor Who episodes that I was most looking forward to rewatching. But today we're going to talk about the top 5 modern Doctor Who episodes that I'm either looking forward to rewatching, excited is definitely not the right word, or I feel like I need to rewatch for one reason or another. Now this was originally going to be a 10 list, but I couldn't really come up with 10 episodes that just at the moment I either felt I needed to rewatch or that I was just in the mood to rewatch. So instead we're going to do 5 episodes that I'm not necessarily excited to rewatch, but I feel like for one reason or another deserve a rewatch. Now number 1 on the list is Blink, and that one I am excited for. I love Blink. Blink is a very unique episode. There's not really another episode like it in my opinion. I love the fact it's one of the rare times when the Doctor's not in it as much where it still works. Most of the episodes that are Doctor-like don't really work for me, but this one is phenomenal. It has one of the best villains in all of Doctor Who. I love the Weeping Angels. They're never better than they are here. They have definitely been watered down some since, but they are gold here. I think Carrie does a great job as Sally Sparrow. Her friend, I forget her friend's name, does a good job. Now her friend's brother, the actor playing him is kind of but he's alright. The guy playing the cop I think is good, the old and the young version of him. I really enjoy the story. It doesn't even have a big cast, but it still works. It does a good job of building tension, building terror and suspense and trying to figure out what's going on. And the camera work is really good, and the music and the sound effects are really good. Kind of the noise it makes when the angels move, the kind of sound cues there really add to the kind of ominous tone of the story, which I really love. I love Blink. So I'm always looking forward to rewatching Blink. Although last time I watched it, I only got about halfway through it. I had company over. That's another story. So I'm looking forward to getting all the way through that one. Again, number 2 on the list is Kerblam. Now, I've only watched Kerblam once, but when Series 11 first aired, it was my favorite story of Series 11. I think Ghost Monument's probably my favorite now, but I feel like Kerblam needs a rewatch. And there have been times I've almost gone back and rewatched it, and I just haven't. I do need to go back and give Kerblam a rewatch. I do have a couple issues with it. I didn't like the one girl getting killed by the bubble wrap. I really didn't like that. And I think the Doctor letting the person behind it all die is a little undoctory. And then I'm not as upset about it. You know, some people are like, well, this sends mixed messages about, I don't really get upset about that. That doesn't really bother me. I enjoyed the story for what it was. And it does need a rewatch because I would like to actually do a fresh review on it sometime soon. So Kerblam is on the list. Next on the list is Thin Ice. I've watched Thin Ice several times. I love Thin Ice. It's one of my favorite Capaldi stories. It's my second favorite Capaldi story, right behind Heaven Sent. The BBC do historicals in Doctor Who really well, like really well, especially with everything looking proper for the time. I love Thin Ice. I mean, you even get to see a kid get killed, and that kid who gets sucked down holding the screwdriver. I was like, I didn't think Doctor Who got this dark these days. And then, Bill and the Doctor get to find out a lot about each other. She starts to realize, okay, this guy has seen death. This guy has caused death. That whole conversation with him about that, when he's telling her, because if I hesitate, then other people die. And then more people die. That whole conversation is just gold. It's absolute gold. I love it. All right, now we're not going to do any violence. We're going to be diplomatic. He ends up just punching the guy. I love it. Capaldi is so good in this one. Pearl Mackie is so good in this one. The guest cast are so good in this one. And the camera work and the directing are so good in this one. I love Thin Ice. That's one I'm definitely always excited to go back and rewatch. Next one on the list is Demons of the Punjab. It's kind of the same thing with Kerblam. I did enjoy Demons of the Punjab the first time I watched it. I felt like it does a better job developing Yaz's grandmother as a character than it does Yaz, which is probably not a good thing. And I don't know if this is one that will hold up on multiple viewings. I strongly suspect it won't. But on first viewing, I did like it. So that's more just my own curiosity of wanting to know what I'll think of it on second viewing. It's just another one I'm like, I need to rewatch that. Then I'm like, oh look, cookies. I'll get around to it eventually. But I need to rewatch it because I do want to do an updated review on Demons of the Punjab. And then last on the list is The Haunting of Villa Diodati. Those are these goofy names. Because I did like that one a lot. I tend to like Series 12. I think Series 12 is one of the most consistently good seasons of the post-Russell T. Davies era. It's really good for the most part. And I liked this episode, just the atmosphere of it, the writing, the mystery, trying to figure out what's going on, seeing the Lone Cyberman. The Lone Cyberman himself, I like him. He's a really good take on the Cybermen. I wish they hadn't killed him off. And yes, I know they brought him back, but as much as I like Power of the Doctor, he's wasted in Power of the Doctor. But in this episode, excuse me, and in Ascension of the Cybermen, and even the beginning parts of Timeless Children, he's an interesting character. I like his design. I like the actor playing him does a good job. I like his character. That scene when you almost think the 13th Doctor's getting through to him when she's talking about his children, and you think he's starting to break, and then he completely goes the other way. That was a phenomenal scene the first time I saw it. I was like, wow, that's brutal. That was really well done. And then when she talks about how, they're not all on a level playing field, or if they are, she's kind of at the top of the totem pole or tent or whatever she says. That's a great scene there too. I love, some of Whittaker's acting in this is actually pretty good. I like how she basically gets across that, hey, I'm in charge, this is not a democracy. And then how personal she takes it with the Cybermen in this one, with the Lone Cybermen, because of course everything that happened with Bill is still fresh on her mind. And so she's like, when she's like, I'm not going to let this happen to anyone else, where she's very, very strongly trying to protect Yaz and Ryan and Graham from the Lone Cyberman because of the events of World Enough and Time still being on her mind. That's also done really well. So I want to give that a rewatch just to see if I enjoyed that as much as I did, because I did really enjoy that episode on the first watch. So, those are the 5 episodes of Doctor Who that I feel like I need to rewatch, that I'm either excited to rewatch or that I just, for a logical point of view, I want to rewatch them just to see if they maintain the same spot in my mind, or if I like them more or if I like them less, and to be able to do updated reviews on them. So I want to know what you think of these 5 stories. Comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon that helps me pay the bills. If you would like to take a moment, there's a link to that down in the description below. Several different tiers to choose from. Anyone who joins at any tier level gets a free video request. I've still got to get caught up on Alice's. Alice, I have not forgot your request about, it's a band she wanted me to check out. I've gotten it. My mind is going blank. I know what it is, though. I've been meaning to check them out. I haven't forgotten, though. I don't know why my mind's blank. I've got it written down. I still need to do that. And then I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me, as well as a link to my Amazon wish list and a link to my Amazon UK wish list as well. I want to give a shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, Stephen and Colin. I appreciate their continued support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. And most importantly, thank you for watching.